Welcome to our presentation on diabetes prevention and management. This educational presentation is narrated by Clarkson College nursing students. Throughout the presentation, we will be discussing what diabetes is, risk factors, signs and symptoms, medical management, and monitoring blood glucose. We will specifically focus on exercise and nutritional management, as these are lifestyle changes that can be easily implemented into your daily routine. Along with these recommendations, we have included a diabetic-friendly recipe. To begin, we have 5 questions to test your current knowledge on the topic of diabetes. Don't worry, you'll be able to check your answers. The last 5 slides of this presentation are the same 5 questions with their answers.
How many minutes of exercise are recommended each day for an adult, age 60 and up? A, 20 minutes, B, 30 minutes, C, 90 minutes, and D, 60 minutes.
Question 2. Based on the following nutrition label, how many grams are in 2 bananas? A, 27 grams, B, 0 grams, C, 54 grams, or D, 46 grams.
Question number 3. What are the risk factors for diabetes? A, obesity, B, lack of exercise, C, active lifestyle, D, family history, E, all of the above. Question number 4. What can cause a person's blood sugar to rise? Select all that apply. A, carbs, B, sugars, C, medications, D, stress, E, B, and D, F, all of the above.
Question 5. Which food would you avoid giving these options? Select all that apply. A, kale salad, B, cheesecake, C, orange juice, D, sweet potatoes, E, cinnamon rolls, or F, green beans.
Our goal for this presentation is to provide information to strengthen the understanding of diabetes prevention and maintenance, with a focus on healthy lifestyle choices related to diet and exercise. Our hope is that after our presentation, you, the learner, will be able to create a meal that aligns with www.myplate.gov recommendations, that you can begin to identify hidden sugars in foods, and can create an attainable weekly exercise regimen. This slide will provide you with some quick facts about diabetes. Diabetes is a chronic multi-system disease characterized by hyperglycemia related to abnormal insulin production, impaired insulin utilization, or both. Currently, in the United States, an estimated 29.1 million people, or 9.3% of the population, has diabetes, and 86 million are considered pre-diabetic. Diabetes is the leading cause of adult blindness, end-stage renal disease, and non-traumatic lower limb amputation. Those who are diabetic are at higher risk for heart disease, stroke, and high cholesterol.
What is diabetes? The 3 types of diabetes we will discuss today are type 1, type 2, and prediabetes. Type 1 diabetes is a chronic condition in which the pancreas is unable to produce insulin. This type accounts for about 5% to 10% of all people with diabetes. Type 1 diabetes generally affects people under 40 years of age, although it can occur at any age. Type 2 diabetes is a chronic condition that affects the way the body processes blood sugar. The body doesn't produce enough insulin, or it is resistant to insulin. This is the most prevalent type of diabetes, accounting for approximately 90% to 95% of all people with diabetes. Type 2 diabetes is more common in older individuals. Prediabetes is blood sugar or glucose levels that are higher than normal but not high enough to be diagnosed as diabetes. Without lifestyle changes, individuals with prediabetes are more likely to develop type 2 diabetes.
Risk factors. Chances of being diagnosed with prediabetes increase with the following risk factors: being 45 years or older, if you are African American, Hispanic, American Indian, Asian, or Pacific Islander, you are more likely to be pre-diabetic. If you have had a family member with diabetes, this could be a parent, brother, or sister. If you are overweight, if you are physically inactive, and lastly, if you have high blood pressure or take medications for high blood pressure.
Here are a few signs and symptoms that could indicate that you might be pre-diabetic, and it's a good time to call your healthcare provider and get a checkup.
Signs and symptoms. These are symptoms to watch for. Hypoglycemia or low blood sugar can occur, as well as hyperglycemia or high blood sugar. The symptoms for low blood sugar include feeling dizzy, feeling very tired, sweating, becoming very irritable or moody, and developing tremors or shakiness. The symptoms of high blood sugar include feeling nauseous and vomiting, and experiencing excessive thirst, urination, and hunger.
Goals of diabetes management are to reduce symptoms, promote well-being, and prevent complications related to high and low blood sugar. Diabetes is a condition that requires daily decisions about blood glucose monitoring, food intake, medication, and exercise. All individuals with type 1 diabetes require insulin. They will work closely with their doctor to control their diabetes with medication. For some people with type 2 diabetes, a healthy eating plan, regular physical activity, and maintenance of a healthy body weight are sufficient to attain healthy blood glucose levels. However, some individuals may need medication management, in which they will once again work closely with their doctor.
Why is it important to monitor your blood glucose? Well, it's super important to monitor your blood glucose to make sure that you stay within the healthy limits and help you prevent complications in the long run. So it is important to understand how glucose gets in the blood in the first place and what makes the levels go up or down. As we eat, our body breaks down carbohydrates into glucose, which is what our body uses for fuel as energy. Once the glucose is broken down, it is sent through our blood for every cell in the body to be used. However, it can only enter our cells, so it can be used up if there's a key. That key is the hormone insulin. So when you have conditions like diabetes mellitus type 1 or type 2, either our body doesn't produce insulin at all, or the little insulin that is produced doesn't work very well. So as we keep eating, the glucose or sugars will stay in the bloodstream, and without the key to get into the cells, the blood glucose levels will rise. For that reason, the medication that is used, such as insulin injections or pills, are matched with the amounts of carbohydrates that we eat, so there's a balance between the medication and the carbohydrates that are being consumed. But it is important to know there are certain things that will increase glucose levels in the blood or decrease it regardless of how much carbs are consumed. Some of the things that can make blood glucose rise include eating a meal or snack with more food or more carbohydrates than usual, inactivity, side effects of medication, and if you are diabetic, your nurse or doctor will advise on which medications have these side effects. Infections, illnesses, and stress. This is because our body releases a special hormone during these periods. Now, things that can make your blood glucose fall include a meal or snack with less food or fewer carbohydrates than usual, extra activity or strenuous exercises, especially without having anything to eat, Side effects of other medications, just as they can cause blood levels to rise, they can also cause levels to fall. Missing a meal or snack, especially if you take medications for insulin and you take your medication without eating your meal. Drinking alcoholic beverages is another one to keep in mind. So there's different ways that you can check your blood glucose. The most common one is with a glucometer that you can get from your local pharmacy. Walgreens or Walmart has them, and their cost ranges from $15 to $50. To use the glucometer, you first need to disinfect the side of your finger. Then with a lancet, you prick the clean side of your fingertip and get a drop of blood on the glucometer strip. The glucometer will give you your blood glucose level within a few seconds. This test is done between 1 to 6 times per day as recommended by your doctor. Another way to test your glucose level is using a continuous glucose monitor, also known as CGM. And there's different types. The one that I've seen is a sensor about the size of a quarter, and it has a tiny wire that is as thick as a human hair that inserts just below the skin. The sensor measures your glucose levels continuously and automatically throughout the day and the night. The sensors need to be replaced about 3 to 7 days, depending on the brand. They're water resistant, so you can shower with them. One of the advantages to using this type of sensors is that it decreases the need to poke your finger throughout the day, especially if you are required to do many glucose checks throughout the day. The sensor transmits the information to the device that keeps track of the glucose trends. It can alert you if your glucose is too low or too high, and it can even tell you if your medications need to be adjusted. You can even use a smart device such as your phone or your tablet to receive the information from the sensor. This type of device can be helpful to keep tighter control on your blood glucose, but it's definitely more costly. The sensors need to be replaced about 3 to 7 days and can cost from $50 to $75. Lastly, you want to make sure to do a hemoglobin A1C test at your provider's office about every 3 months. This is a blood test and the results will show the average level of blood glucose in the past 2 to 3 months. So this test is important because it can tell you how well controlled your blood glucose was during the period, and your doctor may adjust medications based on the results. Exercise management. Exercise does many positive things for everyone, whether you are diagnosed with diabetes or not. Exercise benefits balance, strength, and it helps decrease falls. Exercise helps your body use the insulin it produces and lessens the effect of insulin resistance. Without insulin resistance, there will be less insulin administration in someone with diabetes. The American Diabetes Association has recommendations to include aerobic and strength exercises into your activity routine to maintain optimal glycemic and health outcomes. Aerobic exercises involve repeated and continuous movements of large muscle groups. Activities such as walking, cycling, jogging, and swimming would be some of the exercises they recommend. And resistance strength training exercises that they recommend to do are with free weights, weight machines, body weight, or elastic resistance bands. The recommendation is to create a weekly exercising plan that includes at least 150 minutes a week, exercise daily, or at least not allow more than 2 days to elapse between exercise sessions. I will leave with you 2 links below this video presentation to the American Diabetes Association exercising recommendations and an article from Healthline, which has weekly exercise programs for seniors that you might find helpful.
Choosing healthy foods is very important when it comes to preventing diabetes. When you eat the extra calories and fat, your body creates an undesirable rise in your blood sugar. If your blood sugar isn't kept in check, it can lead to serious problems such as high blood glucose level or hyperglycemia. If the high blood sugar is persistent, it may lead to long-term complications. You can help keep your blood sugar level in a safe range by making healthy food choices and tracking your eating habits. A diabetic diet is a healthy eating plan that's naturally rich in nutrients and low in fat and calories. Key elements are fruits, vegetables, and whole grains. There are various benefits to eating healthy. These include: it helps maintain a person stay in good health overall. It helps achieve target blood sugar levels. It helps maintain a healthy body weight, and it can prevent and slow the progression of prediabetes. With this being said, all food groups should be included. Here are some examples of foods from each category. Foods that can be consumed from the vegetable group include spinach, kale, broccoli, cabbage, and Brussels sprouts. Foods that can be consumed from the fruit group include apples, apricot, cantaloupe, kiwi, grapes, peaches, pears, pineapples, and watermelon. For protein, black or pinto beans, fish such as salmon, chicken, and turkey. For healthy fats, there's avocado, nuts such as almonds, cashews, or peanuts, and peanut butter. And for grains, there's brown rice, whole grain bread, oats, cornmeal, and quinoa. In this slide, we will talk about recommended portion sizes. It is very easy to eat a large amount of food without realizing it, especially when eating out. The portion sizes are usually double or triple of what a recommended portion size should look like. There are several ways to reduce overeating and making sure you portion your foods based on the food groups. These include using smaller dinnerware, using the plate method as a guide to portion your food, using your hand as a serving guide when eating out as for half the portion, and to be aware of serving size displayed on food labels. The plate method. With the plate method, you start with a 9-inch dinner plate. Fill half with non-starchy vegetables such as salad, kale, broccoli, cauliflower, cabbage, or carrots. Fill 1/4 with a lean protein such as chicken, turkey, beans, tofu, or eggs. Fill the other quarter with a grain or starchy food such as potatoes, rice, or pasta, or you can skip the starch and double up on the vegetables. With the hand method, you are using your hand as a guide to estimate food portions. For example, 3 ounces of meat, fish, or poultry is equal to the palm of your hand, not including your fingers, and this can be visualized as number 1 on the screen. 1 cup or 1 medium fruit serving is equal to your fist, or number 3 on the screen. 1 to 2 ounces of nuts such as cashews or peanuts is equal to your hand cupped, or picture 4 on the screen. 1 tablespoon is equal to the length of your thumb, or number 2 on the screen. 1 teaspoon is equal to the length of your fingertip, or number 5 on the screen.
Now that you have learned about nutritional management and portion size recommendations, I want to take the time to talk to you guys about hidden sugars. Hidden sugars are sugars that aren't found naturally in food and should try to be avoided in prevention and management of diabetes. It is surprising to know that some foods that we eat on a regular day-to-day basis are filled with hidden sugars. Breakfast cereal and granola bars being one of them. These companies love to promote the idea of whole grain and vitamins and minerals, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they are healthy. It is best to choose cereals with 10 to 12 grams or less of sugar per serving. Another food choice that has hidden sugars is yogurt. It's recommended to eat plain yogurt and add fruit of your choice for better taste. The following condiments like ketchup, barbecue sauce, pasta sauce, hoisin sauce, teriyaki sauce, and salad dressings have added sugars as well. If you are craving something sweet, it may be better to use a sugar substitute like stevia, erythritol, or monk fruit. This is one of the main reasons it is necessary that we look at nutritional labels beforehand. I will talk more about food labels in the following slide. Carbs, like the ones listed above, can also have a direct effect on your sugar by causing it to rise. Carbs are one of the 3 main nutrients found in foods and drinks, along with proteins and fats. So you're probably thinking, how much carbs can I or should I eat, right? Well, no size fits all. Everyone is different and it varies upon your age, weight, activity level, as well as your diabetes medications. On average, people with diabetes get about 45% of their calories from carbs. A carb serving is measured as 15 grams per serving. Carb counting is very beneficial for those with diabetes as well as prediabetes. It helps prevent or delay diabetes complications such as heart disease, stroke, kidney disease, blindness, nerve damage, and lower limb amputations. Common foods with carbs include grains such as bread, noodles, pasta, and rice. Fruits including apples, bananas, berries, and mangoes. Some dairy products such as milk and yogurt. Carbs are also found in juices, soft drinks, sport drinks, and energy drinks. It also includes starchy vegetables like potatoes, corn, and peas. Snack foods include cakes, cookies, candy, and other pastries. Also in this slide, I want to give you a very brief rundown on how you at home can carb count. As you can see on the slide, the nutritional label is for white bread. I have put an orange label on key points that you want to look at. In regard to carb counting, you will notice that the serving size is per 1 slice. Total carbs for 1 slice is 18 grams. So if you get 2 pieces of bread, you will have consumed a total of 36 carbs. I want to emphasize the importance of reading the food label and determining both the serving size as well as the total carbohydrates, especially when talking in terms of taking medication for diabetes. For foods that do not have a nutritional label, like fruits and vegetables, you can use a website or app that gives you a rough estimate. Also, remember to count carbs from fluids you consume. This does tend to be forgotten, but it is also the reason it is recommended that you do not drink your calories or carbs to allow you to have a little more freedom within your food choices. On this slide, I added some healthy, low-carb alternatives. At the bottom of the chart, I added a few choices that have few or no carbs. Again, it is encouraged to look at the food labels to determine exact amounts.
Here we have a diabetic-friendly recipe that incorporates sweet potatoes, which is a food recommended for having a low glycemic index. This means that this is a carbohydrate food that is broken down slowly by the body, resulting in a more gradual rise in blood glucose. For this recipe, you will roast sweet potatoes, sauté spinach, cook the quinoa and black beans, and add each component to a bowl. Get creative with seasonings and add salt and pepper to taste.
How many minutes of exercise are recommended each day for an adult age 60 and up? The answer is D, 60 minutes.
Based on the following nutrition label, how many carbs are in 2 bananas? The answer is C, 54 grams.
Question number 3. What are the risk factors of diabetes? The answer is A, obesity, B, lack of exercise, and D, family history.
Question number 4 answered. What can cause a person's blood sugar to rise? Select all that apply. The answer is F, all of the above.
Question 5. Which food would you avoid given these options? Select all that apply. The answers are B and E, cheesecake and cinnamon rolls. These would be the 2 foods that you would want to avoid given these options.